Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. Today I plan on doing some simple maintenance on my Mark IV Supra. Today I'm going to be doing the spark plugs. It's been a while since I've done them, so I figure it's about time. For those of you that already own a Supra, you know this is a very easy job. This video might be a little boring. For those of you who don't own the Supra yet and are thinking about buying it, this will be a great way to show just how easy it is to do the maintenance on this car yourself. It's a very easy job. All you need is an Allen head wrench, a 10mm, and a spark plug wrench, and probably maybe about 20 minutes of your time. I did call around to check what other places were charging to do spark plugs, and at least here in Los Angeles, they were charging anywhere from $98 to $135. To me, that's just ridiculous. You can buy the spark plugs yourself for about 12 bucks in about a half hour of your time, and you save yourself some serious money. Plus, it's a great way to bond with your car. So, let's get to work. We're going to start with removing the spark plug cover. It's held on by 10 bolts that are easily loosened with a number 5 metric Allen head wrench. Just go ahead and take all of them out, and the spark plug cover comes right on off. Gotta take off the oil cap. And of course, you're gonna want to put the oil cap back in, make sure nothing falls in the engine. Now that the spark plug cover's off, it exposes your coils. Now, the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna want to unclip the wires from the coils. Now, if you have the original clips, you're going to be careful because it gets very hot in this channel, which means the plastic's gonna be kind of brittle and can break. I actually had my clips redone about a year ago, so mine are nice and soft. Just a simple press. I use both fingers and they just come right on off. Like I said, if you have your old ones, be careful you don't crack them. Otherwise, it shouldn't be that big of an issue. Once you've disconnected the wires, there are two 10mm bolts that hold on the coil. Just go ahead and break them loose. Get them loose all the way. And then just wiggle that coil pack right on out. And then now that the coil pack is out of the way, we're ready to take out our first spark plug. So once you've got the old spark plug out, it's time to start prepping the new spark plug. I'm using NGK BKR7E, which is a 4644. Very common, very popular plug for this application. So when you get your spark plug, take the protector off, and the first thing you're going to do is check the gap. I tend to gap mine at about 0.025. Now, it seems to be with this particular car, people tend to gap anywhere from 0.02 to 0.033. And it's going to just basically depend on your car and how much boost you're running. Because the idea is you want the largest gap possible to get the best spark, but not so big as that the boost is going to blow the spark out. As you can see, I'm just kind of bending and testing. And the idea is you want to get that thing so tight that the feeler gauge barely makes it past the electrode. Still too high. There we go. See, it takes a little bit of effort and resistance to get it through. That means it's properly gapped. And then the one thing you definitely do not want to forget, anti-seize. If you don't put anti-seize on these with the heat and the different metals, the sucker can get seized in there pretty darn well, and you don't want to deal with that. So make sure you apply a good amount of anti-seize to the threads. That way the next time you do your spark plugs, it's not gonna kill you. You don't have to go nuts with the anti-seize. You pretty much just need enough that it coats the threads and you're ready to go. So this spark plug is all set and ready to go back in the car. And now that the spark plug is all prepped, it's ready to go back into the cylinder. Make sure you get it started hand first, because if you start cranking on this early, you could strip the head, and that gets really expensive fast. So thread it in there till it's hand tight, then add the wrench, give it about a half turn, and move on to the next one. Once you have both plugs back in, it's time to put the coil packs back in. Don't forget to put a little anti-seize on the bolts, because there again, all the heat. Pretty much you just want to thread the coil pack back in past the wires very gently. Got to be patient with these things sometimes. And it falls right into place. Now I like to hand start one bolt at a time, make sure it's threaded correctly. I only partially start the first one, so the first one's got more, second one's got more room to wriggle. Once that one's cinched down, give it a little bit of a tightening, and then finish off the first one. Now this is one of the more important parts of the procedure. Pay attention here, because when you put the wires back on the coil packs, it's very natural to think just to take the plug and shove it onto the connector. But you have to be careful. Like I said, these coils are under a lot of heat and the plastic can get brittle. You want to make sure you support both sides of the plug when you push it together till it clicks. The reason why you do that is if you take the plug and just try and shove it on, this sucker can break. And if it breaks, you're looking at buying a whole new coil pack. Not fun. So like I said, support the clip, support the plug, just kind of push together till you hear that click. Now do the same thing for the next 6 spark plugs, and then we can start putting things back together. As you can see, now I've pretty much got everything all buttoned up. I've changed all the spark plugs, gapped them to 0.025, and put anti-seize on the threads. I've also put all the coil packs back in and reattached all the wiring. I'm gonna let you know there's 2 hints I can give you that'll make this job a lot easier that I actually didn't show you on camera, because I only showed you the front coil pack. Number 1 being, it's actually easier to disconnect all the wires from the coil packs and they move out of the way. It makes it easier to get the coil packs in and out. The other thing you're gonna need to do is there's 2 crossover ventilation tubes right here. You're gonna need to take those off to get the number 2 coil pack out. The way you're gonna wanna do that is I take a set of pliers, I wrap both sides in a little bit of towel, I clamp it over the hose and just give a bit of a twist. The way the hoses are shaped, it makes them come off very, very easy. So I know it looks like we're pretty much done, but there's actually 2 more things we need to do. Yes, we need to put the spark plug cover back on, but we also need to inspect the old spark plugs. The colors on the old spark plugs are going to tell us a lot about what's going on with the engine and let us know if there's any issues. Here are all the spark plugs I took out of the car. I've kept them in order from number 1 to number 6. That way I need to know if there's anything wrong with the cylinders. I know which cylinder it is. So what you want to look at is the color right here of the electrode. Ideally you want it to be a nice dusty brown. That means that you're burning properly. If it's a bright white, that means you're running lean, or if it's a dark black, that means you're running rich. Looking at this one, this is the number 1 cylinder. It's looking like it's kind of a little bit on the white side, but it's still got that dusty brown look, which means it might be running a scotch on the lean side, but it's nothing to really worry about. Here on the number 2 cylinder, if you look at it, much better, nice dusty brown. I can pretty much say that the number 2 cylinder is getting the air fuel mixture it needs. Looking at all these, they're all pretty darn good. That's a nice dusty brown. The number 4 one looks like it might be a little bit darker than the others, means it might be a little bit richer than the others. Here again, 5, nice dusty brown, as well as 6, nice dusty brown. So it pretty much tells me that my air fuel mixture is pretty much correct. and I don't have too much to worry about. The fact that they're slightly different colors might mean that the injectors need to be balanced, but they're actually the stock injectors. They are 25 years old, so that's not that big of a surprise. If I was running a standalone fuel management system, or if I had bought an aftermarket injectors, I might be a little bit more concerned. But all in all, these look pretty darn good, which means I can button up the rest of the car and then start and fire it up. All right, so here we are. We're all buttoned up. We've got the spark plug cover back on. We checked the old spark plugs to see how the engine was doing. Everything's all hooked up. Now for the fun part, starting it up. All right, I would definitely call that a success. And there you go. You've now changed spark plugs on a Mark IV Supra. As I told you, it's super easy to do, and all you need is a minimal amount of tools. If you have any questions or you feel there's anything I missed, go ahead and post in the comments down below. I will respond to you. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all out on the road.